Hello YouTube, it's me, Annabella. Yes, I have got a cut on my face. Let's not even go into that because that's a whole different story. Today we are doing Doctor Who Season 9, Episode 6, The Woman Who Lived. It was an absolute dream of an episode, mostly because Clara wasn't in it, but in the end you realise that the Doctor did miss her. Unfortunately, as an audience member who has her first ever episode, The Asylum of the Daleks, was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love the episode. I love the peppy chemistry, even though that they didn't actually meet. And the sudden realisation, it was crushing. Absolutely crushing. Asylum of the Daleks is her most brilliant episode. And then we had the whole of season 7 to get through, well, the first half, and that was just soul destroying. And then we eventually met her properly, and then we lost her again. And then after that, it was just, I gave up. I was like, I just don't care. And then when we did meet the modern Clara, she was so bland and boring. It was like, oh. And yes, the whole Danny Pink season 8 was useful, but she has never been just a sidekick. She's always been sort of plot devicey, which is really unfortunate because she is she would have been a brilliant companion had we understood her in some kind of logical order. But instead we got this sort of mishmash of, in season 7 she danced about his timeline so much that you were sort of like, oh, here she is again and she's going to die, oh, we don't care. So you kind of didn't get attached to her in any way, and then she became the impossible girl. And then the whole Danny Pink season where she took command, and it sort of felt false because you really wanted her and the Doctor to run as equals, but that season she sort of had to be his caretaker, which didn't quite work. And then this season she's sort of been very withdrawn and you're not quite sure why, and it's this whole Danny Pink hangover guilt thing that she's got going on. But this episode with Gishilda from last episode, The Girls Who Lived, The Girl Who Died, episode 5, and this episode is The Girl Who Lived, and I think it's absolutely brilliant because you actually see the span of time and you get to understand what it's like to be an immortal being like Gishilda or even the Doctor. And Gishilda sums it up: he gads about and she has to trudge through the days and the hours and seconds through life. It's a brilliant episode, wonderfully written. I really enjoyed it. The soundtrack's been really weak, and I think some of the flashbacks to previous Gishilda's previous lives were perhaps a tad too clean. They weren't, the period stuff was there, but it looked too shiny and looked too filmy. I really, really, really enjoyed the episode though. And at the end, they've kind of got this mutual understanding that she'll clean up his mess after he's saved everybody, but she'll be there to support. Whether that will include supporting the Doctor's mess making is unknown. I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was great. It was really good to see Maisie Williams come into herself, because at one point she was a guy, then she was a girl, then she was this beautiful woman. I loved the inclusion of like that space lion. Doctor Who's got a long history of like space cats from David Tennant era. Episode Gridlock, you've got cat people in that, and also the from what is it, New Earth, that there are cat people in the hospital. And also if you go right back to Sylvester McCoy, that's the 7th Doctor episode, Survival, there are the cheetah people in there. So Doctor Who has a long history of cat people. So this Lion King, haha, ba bum bum, yeah, the puns, love the puns. There were lots in this episode. Oh, it's really annoying. Hate plasters. Anyway, never mind. Such is life. Loved the sort of like Beauty and the Beast thing, because then at the end, sorry, spoiler warning, Gishilda wears very, very Belle from Beauty and the Beast outfit in this lovely, lovely burgundy with matching lipstick. It looked really, really nice, and she's nice on her. And then it was kind of like Beauty and the Beast with this like lion thing. So that's kind of cool. Awesome. We still don't know if that guy actually survives or becomes an immortal. Probably not, because the Doctor did say really quickly that he thought that it would last to close the episode and bring him back, but not keep him. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm currently wearing my Doctor Who Cardiff Doctor Who Experience t-shirt. So it's pretty cool. See? Awesomeness. So it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. And I liked the fact that we could have two immortals go into a bar. And there was a Captain Jack reference and two immortals in a bar discussing life and why they can't actually travel together because they're empty. Which is interesting because he was never like that with River. But then again, River was his species. So, and also his wife. So that was very, very different. Because the thing is I think there's also... the Doctor isn't immortal, he's a Time Lord, whereas Gashilda is immortal. She doesn't change, she just continues. The Doctor does change. Admittedly, he's got a new regeneration cycle, but at the end of this second regeneration cycle, he will effectively be dead unless he gets another regeneration cycle. So his immortality is slightly different. So even if Gashilda travelled with him, she couldn't stay with him because he will eventually die, and he doesn't want her to have access to the TARDIS, I don't think, because I think Gashilda's heart is going to go through very much like silver. If it's exposed to the air, you have to polish it and it tarnishes, and I think that that's what's going to happen with her over time. And also, next episode, we've got Zygons, Unit and Asgard. That's a spoiler for episode 7 of season 9. Season 9 is really, really interesting. It's got some great science fiction plots. That's basically all I have to say for season 5. Episode 6. Episode 6 and episode 5 do go together quite well. They are companion episodes. We've got this whole two-parter thing going on. That is quite nice because we get to enjoy the cliffhanger. I really, really enjoyed the episode. I thought some of the ethics between like two immortals in a bar and things like that. And I love the journal aspects of Gashilda. It was also interesting that at the end you could see that the Doctor valued mayflies and Clara is a mayfly, but I think that that's kind of cheapening her because she's not a mayfly. He knows that she's lived for ages and ages and ages and ages. So that's kind of... Clara's in this awkward position because we know that she's going to die. Huge spoiler warning. We're getting rid of her this season, finally. It's just so unfortunate because Clara would have been an excellent companion had she had a more logical introduction, or one where she was sort of like... She had the first episode of season 7, then we had that gap, then she was in the Christmas episode, and then it was like the hunt for her. And if you found her and actually stood with her for a while and wasn't sort of running around trying to tie up River, there was just too many story threads all at the same time, and Clara, I think, is a victim of that, plus the 50th landed in between her run. So she's really kind of gone from being it's just really awkward. I'm hoping that once we've lost Clara, we will get a collection of companions for him. So he will travel with maybe 3 people or 2. Because I think for the audience, I think that the Doctor and a companion, yes, it can be great, but also it can be very intense, and I think that might need to change. Anyway, we've done the review of the episode The Woman Who Lived. It was a brilliant episode. Loved the ethics, loved the debate. Unfortunately, some of the period stuff is a little bit... it kind of worked, but it would also look very made for TV. And what is it with the sky effects and having a portal in the sky? Or are we having sort of like, I don't know, austerity of special effects? Who knows? So this is me, Annette Bella. I've reviewed the episode The Woman Who Lived, which is episode 6 of season 9 of Doctor Who. And I'm going to give it a nice 8 out of 10 because I can. I really enjoyed it. So please like, comment and subscribe. So bye!